Hello YouTube. So today we're going to be looking at silencers or suppressors, moderators, depends where you stay, what you want to call it. So yeah, looking forward to it. Going to go into a bit of detail how this works, as well as my findings on the Artemis CP2 suppressor, and yeah, let's see how I've modified mine as well. Stick around, let's get going. Alright, so first let's see if we can explain how the silencer works. Please just remember, I'm no expert on guns. What I've learnt is what I've come across over the internet, or what I've studied on the internet. So please, I'm no gunsmith, I'm no expert on guns. This is just what I've learnt. Guns is just a hobby to me. So yeah, this is how I understand the silencer to work. So at the top here we've got just a barrel with a pellet, and there you can see the gas at the back, and then here at the bottom we've got a pellet inside the barrel, and then we've got the silencer with the baffles inside and the gas coming in. So how does it work? Well, this gas is going to push the pellet out, and as the pellet comes out, this gas also needs to escape. So as it escapes, obviously it's going to come out here, and this is the noise that you're going to hear when you shoot the shot. Then the gas comes out. I'm also going to illustrate it practically just now, then you'll be able to see it nicely. So what happens now with the silencer, basically same setup, got your pellet, you've got your air at the back. So this could be air, it could be CO2, whatever the case is, whatever's propelling this pellet. So same thing, your pellet comes out. But now what happens, as your pellet moves through, your gas is actually getting caught up in these chambers here. So because your gas is getting caught up in these chambers, that allows your rifle to be that much quieter. So when the pellet comes out the front here, the only gas that's escaping is the little bit that hasn't been caught up inside your silencer. So that's basically how a silencer works. I'm going to try and illustrate it to you now as well. So a couple of things we need to keep in mind. Obviously, the bigger your silencer, the more effective it will be. If I put a 2-liter Coke bottle on the end of my gun, obviously it's going to be very silent because there's a lot of room for the gas to go into. The easiest way to illustrate how this works is by means of a balloon. So think about a balloon. You fill a balloon up with air. What happens when you pop the balloon? Well, you hear that sound. It makes a popping sound, and that is because all the air is escaping at one time. Well, if we think now about a silencer, it's basically the same as that balloon filled with air, except we are regulating the speed at which the air comes out. So it will be a lot softer or quieter than popping the balloon. Alright, so let's have a look now at the Artemis CP2. Let's take a couple of shots, one without the silencer, one with the silencer. I want you to look for the gas that comes out the front of the rifle, and let's see if you can understand what I'm trying to show you here. Alright, so I'm going to take this first shot now without the silencer. Look specifically for the gas escaping out the front. Then you'll see why we use the silencer. Clearly you could also hear that was quite loud. Let's put the silencer on now. here, it's going to be quite a bit softer, but you'll also notice that there's a lot less gas that's going to come out the front there. Alright, so now that you know how it works, let's see how I modified mine. Okay, so let's get into it. So here you can see I've taken my silencer apart. What I've done to the actual body itself is I've just drilled 2 small little holes in here. This is supposed to help to allow the gas to escape, so that not all of the gas or air escapes out the front. So yeah, and then all I've done, I've taken some curlers. If you look, these curlers are, inside diameter of these curlers are around about 12 millimeters. So just remove this outside piece. There you sit with a nice plastic piece. You're just using a knife, cut it to the length that you want, and then just cut strips of this felt. This is just plain felt material, and then basically just close it up with the masking tape on the outside, just like that. So you can see there's your felt, and I found that the felt works pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. What I have noticed is, compared to the original just had spaces in here, so basically you weren't having anything that was catching the air, if I can put it like that. So basically all that was happening was your baffles was just shifting the air to the outside of the silencer. That was giving you obviously quieter than without the silencer, but that's about it that it was giving you. So yeah, let me quickly put this back together, and then you can see how it all goes together. Start with this bigger one here. Which one is the longest? It's the longest one. Start with this one here at the back. Just like that. And I find if the closer you get it to the actual diameter, the better it sits inside the silencer, then you don't struggle so much to put the whole thing together. Another thing that I just wanted to mention, if you look at these little baffles that you've got here, so originally I think it's got 6 or 7 baffles inside. So from what I've researched, they're saying that basically you only need 4 baffles, and thereafter it's basically diminishing returns. You're not really going to see a difference if you go anything more than 4. So I've only got 4 baffles left in here. And then the other thing that's very important, if you want to change the baffles, you'll see that this baffle sitting, the inside diameter is just on 6 millimeters. So we know that the pellets that we're shooting is 4.5 millimeters. So that gives us a clearance of about 1.5 millimeters inside there. So that allows us that we do not what they call clipping, which is basically when your pellet is going through your baffles, that it's catching on the side of your baffle, which will result in obviously your pellet not firing accurately. So we want to make sure that we avoid it. So if you want to make your own baffles, you can do that. You can even make them straight. They do not have to have this shape. And just remember that that hole on the inside, you need to leave clearance so that your pellet will not get stuck in there. Alright, it's just one thing to keep in mind. So, but I've used the original baffles, so that shouldn't be a problem for me, because these fit quite snugly in the front. Alright, so then what I'm going to do next, just going to put back the top cap. That goes in first. So top cap, then I'm going to just put these baffles on top of each other. Like this. Alright, and then from there it's pretty simple. You're just going to put this over the top. Alright, and then let's just do this last one. And then screw it together. I'm going to make sure it's quite a tight fit. If I shake it, you can hear there's nothing loose inside. And just have a look right down the middle. Let's see if I can get this on camera. There we go. Almost. Yeah, there. So you can have a look down there. You can see there's nothing obstructing it. Clear line of sight. So yeah, that's what we're after. I'm going to put it on. So is there a difference? Yes, there's definitely a difference. It's a little bit quieter. I suppose you could get different mediums other than felt and try that out, see which works best for you. But I found that this is a little bit quieter than the original silencer, and purely because we've got something that's actually catching the oxygen. It's not just the oxygen going into the silencer itself with the spacers and the baffles. So yeah, it definitely has an effect. And if you just look at those two small little holes, you'll see that the first piece that we inserted here, the first curler with the felt is sitting right over those holes, so that allows that gas to escape as soon as possible. And yeah, it just gives a little bit of relief. So the other way that we could modify the silencer to make it more effective is just to give it more volume. The bigger this silencer, the more space there is for the room, for the air to expand into, the silenter it's going to be. Alright, so let's put this back on. Let's have 1 or 2 shots and let's see how it goes. Be back with you now. Alright, so I've managed to find some of these Hades in a 0.177, so testing them out. So far really enjoying them, but they are super heavy. These pellets, I had to adjust my scope quite a bit to be able to take these pellets. So yeah, let's shoot 2 of these through this silencer and let's just see how it goes. As you can hear, most of the noise that you're hearing there is actually not coming from the front of the rifle, it's actually coming here from the back, from the action. So definitely that silencer is effective. Alright, so there you have it. Go out, modify your silencer. Remember, whatever you're doing is reversible, so you can always go back to the original silencer if you're not happy. And yeah, have fun. Happy shooting.